Oops. I want to try cooking steaks again. We'll go with 1,000 degrees, but this time we're going to use skewers. So I'm going to need to make something fireproof that can hold these things in the oven. We're going to use one of these plastic containers as a form. I'll drill holes where the skewers are going to go. Then I'll test fit them to make sure they're separated far enough. This looks like it'll be good. Next we'll need a container to mix up some castable refractory cement. Luckily I'm a pro at this after building that oven, and I've got some stuff left over that'll work. This is hydrated lime, fire clay, refractory mortar, and some sand. I'll use some chicken wire to reinforce this custom brick. I'll cut an access hole in this lid so I can fill it with concrete. I've got a metal bracket that I'm going to use to give me like a hook that I can pull this thing out of the oven with. Here's what the final form looks like. So I'll just add some water, mix this thing up, and we'll pour it into the form. I'll use WD-40 on these skewers as a release agent. Don't worry, we'll clean them real good before we put any food on them. We'll position these skewers how we want them. The reinforcing chicken wire will hold them up. For now, I'm calling this a meat sled. After it cures for a day, we'll cut off this plastic. This is going to work. All right, back to the present. I bought some cheaper meat to try this out on. If we get it right, I'll go back and do it with a fillet. We'll trim this and then cut it into skewer chunks. The fire's roaring, but we're going to crank it up a little bit. Meat like this isn't super healthy, especially when it's cooked at 1,000 degrees. So we're going to make a salad. All right, let's do this. I'll put 3 or 4 pieces on each skewer, and I'll use some aluminum foil to stop this meat from sliding down. Aluminum melts at around 1200, so keep an eye on that. Salt is the only seasoning worth putting on before you cook. Anything else will just get incinerated. Load up the meat sled. Push the wood to the side and brush a space for your food. Okay, we're ready to go. I could have measured this better. Wish I could describe the sounds and smells of this process. This is where I ran into some problems. I lost one skewer trying to pull this thing out of the oven, and the charring on these things was out of control. I basically had to go through and cut all this stuff off, but this is why we experiment and practice. The right move is to drop the temperature down to around 700. That'll get a more reasonable char on the outside while still cooking the middle. I'll also make a meat sled that holds the skewers horizontally. The difference in temperature with elevation is significant.
What do you think of that meat? Good? Yeah? Try the meat, buddy. What do you think?
I like steak.
Give it a try. I want to see if you like it. I'm taking a video of you. Can you please try your steak? Thank you. Pretty good?
I guess I'm not a cement expert after all. Back to the drawing board. Thanks for watching.